Hey, what's up everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber guys, and guess what? We are back at it again with another amazing, stupendous, tremendous, groundbreaking, breakthrough, earth-shattering, I guess kind of like a review. I'm doing another countdown, guys, and this one's going to be a little bit different. If you've been watching my channel, I've done countdowns on Marvel, top 10 Marvel selects of all time. Last year I did my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2018. I did another countdown where I did like five action figures that you may not know about that you should own. Well, this countdown, guys, is going to be about 5 action figures that I didn't like in the beginning, but now I really love, and the action figures have grown on me, and now they've become some of my favorite in my collection. Now, this is a top 5 countdown, so there's of course only going to be 5 action figures, but they're gonna be a diverse collection of action figures. 3 of them are actually NECA action figures. One is a Marvel Legend, and one is a Spawn figure. So, being that we have a NECA collection, we'll start it off with this guy right here. This Predator right here. You know, when I first bought this guy, I wasn't looking to get a Predator. I found him for an amazing deal, man. At a local comic book store. I think I paid probably under 30 for him. I didn't pay that much for him, and he's one of the few Predator figures that I have. I love the Predator action figures. I try to go after the rare ones, but I picked him up because I got him for a good deal. So when I picked him up, I didn't really like him because he wasn't really the Predator that I was looking for. I believe this is the Temple Guard Predator. If I'm wrong, correct me. I think he's from the Alien vs. Predator series. If I'm wrong, correct me. It's been a while since I reviewed this figure. But when I bought him, I liked him, but at the same time, I just didn't really care for him. But over time, over the years, well, not over the years, because I got him, I think, last year, you know, he has grown on me, and he's become one of my favorite figures. Look, I'm petting the Predator. He's become one of my favorite figures in my collection, guys. I highly recommend this Predator figure. The detail on this Predator figure is amazing, and it's from Alien vs. Predator. I think the Alien vs. Predator movies had some of the best designs for the Predators because they were just outrageous, and the detail on them were just absolutely amazing and stunning, as you guys can see right here. And he is a big guy. He's very simplistic, but yet he has so much going on with him, and he's just a straight up badass, man. I mean, the dreadlocks are beautifully detailed, the gun, the weaponry. I really guys, really love this figure. He's one of my favorite figures in my entire collection. And like I said, I think when I first reviewed him, I did give him a high score. But after that, I just felt like he wasn't all that great. But he is a huge standout. You know, you can definitely tell, you know, when you put these guys in the collection with other action figures, and you see them and how they stand out. This guy stands out in the collection. You know, when you look at, he's part of my NECA collection, my NECA other McFarlane figures. So he's mixed in with a bunch of different kind of figures, from Jason to Freddy to Ninja Turtles to Gremlins, and he is a figure that definitely sticks out. And he is a pretty big figure. He does stand about 8.5 inches, so he is a big guy. He's a big Predator, and I definitely recommend this Predator figure. Actually, you know, if I could find all the figures from the Predator, Alien vs. Predator series, I probably would buy them all, but they're so freaking expensive. Well, expensive to me, you know, they're 60, 70, 80. Some of them are going for $100. You know, if you can find, you know, the Alien vs. Predator figures for under $30, pick them up because they are really, really awesome. And this guy is no exception. He is breathtaking. The paint detail is immaculate. The detail overall is just brilliant, man. They did an amazing, amazing job with this figure. And I highly, highly recommend it. And his mask doesn't come off. His mask stays on there, which kind of sucks. But yes, he is from the Alien vs. Predator figure series. And I highly recommend this figure, guys. Like I said, picked him up. I thought he was cool. Didn't really like him. Threw him into my collection. I thought about selling him off when I first got him because I felt like I could get some money for him. Glad that I kept him, and he's become one of my favorite figures in my collection. Okay, so we'll go to another NECA figure. And this is the Robocop and Terminator action figure. Listen, you know, this guy is really, really awesome. I don't know why too many people, they don't talk about this figure. I mean, people love the Robocop action figure, the NECA Robocop action figure. He's highly sought after, and he's pretty expensive, pretty pricey, $80 range, $100 range, depending on where you can find him. But what NECA did with this, combining the Terminator and the Robocop figure, I think they did an amazing job. And he's unique. That's one thing I love about adding figures to my collection is I love to find unique action figures. They did an amazing job. He still has the Robocop look. He has the Terminator arm combined. If you're familiar with the Robocop versus Terminator series, it's a very, very awesome series. I definitely would love to see a movie based on that. But the detail that NECA did on this figure is just absolutely amazing. The missiles on his back is just absurd and crazy, and he's got a little minigun here. And yeah, NECA does an amazing job with these figures, whether it's Terminator, whether it's Robocop, whether it's Predator over here. And he was a figure that I just kind of bought. I kind of thought, he was pretty cool. And I think I did give him a high rating in the beginning, but in the beginning, I didn't really like him. I thought he was all right. I didn't think he wasn't that special. But when you put these figures in your collection, they stand out. And these are the figures that stand out. And this Robocop Terminator is absolutely breathtaking. I highly recommend this figure, guys. If you guys don't have this figure, I suggest picking him up because he is a really, really awesome figure. So there's Robocop. You can see the height difference between Robocop and Predator. So Robocop stands at about 7 inches going up to his missiles. He's about 8 inches. So there were the two NECA figures. We'll cross over and we'll break out another cybernetic figure. And this, guys, you're going to be a little bit surprised. This was a figure that I picked up that I at first didn't really like. I thought he was nice. I thought he was breathtaking. This was another figure that I did give a high score to as well when I first reviewed him. And I thought he was a really, really brilliant piece. But at the same time, you know, he's one of those, he was just kind of like, you know, another Spawn figure, you know, to put on, you know, display. And so I didn't really care too much for him. And one of the main reasons why I probably didn't care too much for him is because he has such a small little waist right here, small swivel. I feel like this can break off at any time. And if you guys are familiar with Spawn figures, you know how easily they break, McFarlane figures, especially the older ones. And I believe this one is from 1999. So he is over 20 years old, almost 20. Well, yeah, he is 20 years old. If you're watching this video, it's 2019. But he is an amazing action figure. The detail on this guy is just breathtaking, and there is a lot of articulation with this figure, and they did an amazing job with this figure. You know, if you love Transformers, then you'll probably like this this Cyber Spawn. I believe it's Cyber Spawn. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. And he does have a tail right here, which I found kind of ridiculous in the beginning when I was first reviewing this figure, but over time he has grown on me, and the unique detail and the sculpture of this piece is just absolutely amazing. You can find this guy for pretty cheap right now, as all, you know, a lot of Spawn McFarlane figures, and there is a variant of him. There is a white version of this Cyber Spawn. Of course, if I come across him, I would definitely love to pick him up. Like I said, articulation is amazing on this figure. Of course, you have to be careful. Like I said, he's an older figure and he's a McFarlane figure, but he is very well, nicely articulated, beautifully sculpted, beautiful detail, the cybernetic joints, the limbs, the feet. And he has a body and a face and a structure that you don't see in action figures, you know, and you don't see in today's action figure form. You know what I mean? The wiring, the tubes, it looks like blood that's flowing through his body to keep him alive, and the cybernetic suit is a really, really nice touch, amazing detail, very simplistic, but yet very complex at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. His head is articulated. You see the tubes right here, the blood flowing in and out the head. Amazing, amazing detail. You know, this guy was one of my first reviews when I first started my YouTube channel. And so when I shot the video, it was really, really dark. I didn't have really, really great lighting at the time because I was first starting out. But put him in light and he really, really shines. You know, even though he is a really, really dark figure, you put him in some nice light and you can get some really, really nice, showing some really good detail on this figure. And he is just an absolutely breathtaking figure. I highly recommend this figure. He's become one of my favorite Spawn figures in my collection, and I highly, highly recommend that Cyber Spawn. Okay, so, and these are in no particular order, guys. This is not really a countdown. These are just the top 5 figures I didn't really like when I first got. Now I love them, and they're they're some of my favorites in my collection. Okay, so we'll go from Cyber Spawn to, I think you guys are going to be surprised by this one. It's a Marvel Legends Wolverine, guys. Now, I know what you're thinking. He was actually in my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2018. When I first got him, I didn't like him. I thought he was good. I thought he was nice, but I felt like he was a little bit too small and a little bit too lightweight. But after collecting Marvel Legends for a while, seeing a lot of the detail that Marvel Legends put into their toys, their figures, and also, you know, I wasn't thinking, you know, Wolverine is a small figure, so he should be this height, you know what I mean? So at first I didn't like him. I think I gave him a low score. I think I gave him like a 7 or something when I first reviewed him, because I wasn't really disappointed with him. I was disappointed with him. But over time he has grown on me because I'm an X-Men fan. I am a Marvel fan. He's one of my favorite figures in my entire Marvel Legends collection. I think people know about this. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, you know how awesome he is. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, you should have this guy in your collection, and there's nothing that needs to be said about Wolverine. I think I was a little harsh when I first got him last year. He was part of the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, and I think I gave him like around a 7 or something. But right now, I probably, if I was reviewing this figure today, I probably would give him a 10. And he would probably fall a little bit higher on my Marvel Legends top list of 2018. So I have a different perspective on this Wolverine, and I highly recommend this Wolverine. You should get him. He's pretty awesome. So I just wanted to put that out there. You see how small he is standing next to Predator. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that to light, guys, because like I said, when I first got him, I wasn't too pleased. But over time, he has grown on me, and he's become one of my favorite action figures in my collections. So I think that might have been the most surprising one of all from this countdown. And so last but not least, guys, it's going to be another NECA figure. This one's going to be, you're going to be somewhat a little surprised as well. It is of Jason from, I don't know what he's from. I think he's from the Friday the 13th 3D, Part 3, 3D or something like that. And when I first got this figure, you know, listen, I got him because I found him for cheap in a comic book store. So I wasn't looking to pick up a Jason figure. I just thought, you know, he looked really cool. He was part of my childhood. I grew up watching a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, as we all did, and as we all do every year, you know. that they come on. And his mask does come off, as you can see right there. Whoops, there's his machete. He comes with a huge arsenal of weapons. Of course, I have him in this classic with the machete look. His face mask comes off and it reveals this damaged Jason head sculpt. It's just ugly. And the mask is going to go back on. And you can see he's been cut right there on the mask as well. And you see the blood right there, the wound. They did an amazing job with this figure. I just thought he was a little bit too simplistic. This was another figure that I did give a high score to, but I thought, because he was Jason and because, NECA did an amazing job, that's why I gave him the high score. But after that, I didn't think too much of him. He just kind of went into my collection. I didn't really care for him. But over time, he was another figure that just kind of grew on me. I thought they did an amazing job. They kept it very simplistic, and they did a very effective job. Even though he's very simple as far as the shirt and the dirty pants, you can see the yellowness on his pants, the blood right here, the blood stains, the blood on his shirt, the mask. The detail overall, they did an amazing job. NECA did an amazing job with this figure. And I recommend any Jason action figure. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one, even though this one is pretty awesome and is very, like I said, very simplistic. And they did a really, really amazing job with this figure. And like I said, this was a figure that I didn't really care for when I first bought it. When I reviewed it, didn't really care too much for it. I thought it was good. But over time, you learn to appreciate the detail and the weird oddities of this Jason figure. So guys, there was my little top 5 of action figures that I didn't like when I first bought, but now I love. It's a pretty different variety of action figures. We have a Cyber Spawn over here, Jason figure, Predator, Robocop, and Wolverine. And I think, by looking at this collection, I've come to realize one other thing, that this is kind of like my childhood. So, because I grew up on Robocop and Predator and Jason and Spawn and X-Men, I've just come to that realization that that's probably one of the reasons why I love these figures much more and have a better appreciation for them much more, because I grew up watching and collecting all these action figures, watching their movies, watching their cartoons, collecting the action figures, reading their comic books. So yeah, I guess it kind of falls into that category as well. So I think I'm out of breath. I spent 18 minutes talking about 5 action figures. Let me know what you guys think of these figures, and do you have action figures in your collection that you didn't really like, now that you over time they have grown on you, and that you want to recommend? Leave it in the comments. Which 5 action figures do you like? Do you recommend to me as far as collecting and buying? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We're going to leave it at that. I can't believe I spent almost 19 minutes talking about this, but if you guys stuck with me all the way to the end, I just want to say thank you. So if you guys like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this top 5. And give me your top 5 as well, and give me some recommendations of what I should collect. So we'll leave it at that, guys. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. And guess what? I'll catch you guys later. Bye!